I finally made it home to Italy with my twin 18-year-old sons on Friday after an endless journey. The European Union on the Tuesday had said there would be no more travel to the Schengen area, and I was little concerned that we wouldn't get back. The children were still going to school, but on the Friday we decided that we would leave. I had already purchased some tickets, obviously not direct flights because those were impossible to find, but tickets through Düsseldorf and then connecting on to Rome. We left and went to Heathrow Airport with the boys and then got onto our first flight. When we arrived in Düsseldorf, we found a deserted airport, but fortunately our connecting flight to Rome was confirmed. It was not the same case for many others who were on our same flight. I had left Italy 3 weeks ago, and the situation at the time was that only 11 towns in the north of Italy had been locked down. Little did I know that that was the fate awaiting the entire country. When we took our connecting flight to Rome, we were not really prepared for what we were going to see when we arrived in Rome. We landed, and as we entered the airport terminal, we were welcomed by police officers that were telling us to keep 3 feet apart from everybody else. Then they took our temperature, then they moved us to another area where we had to sign some papers, which basically in which we declared that we would go into quarantine for 14 days and that we would not leave our homes during those 14 days. As we left the airport with a car that I had booked, we were completely shocked by what we saw. On the very busy, normally very busy ring road of Rome, there were no cars. And as we drove into the center of Rome, there were no people. It was completely surreal. A city that we are used to seeing with a lot of traffic was suddenly empty of everything. And finally, we managed to get home. We were exhausted. It had been an endless day. Very early in the morning, we'd gotten up, and then we'd caught 2 flights, had arrived in a situation that was totally not what we expected. But we went home and went to bed exhausted. The next morning, we went out on our terrace and looked out, and we saw no one. There was no one in the street. There were no cars. There was a surreal silence, and we all looked at each other in complete surprise. And suddenly the reality dawned on us, the reality of what it was like now in Italy. And we were all of us asking ourselves, how long is this going to last?